All right, let's dive into an idea that might just change the way you see, well, everything. We're going to explore this fascinating concept that what your brain shows you isn't actually reality, but a kind of protective illusion. So, let me ask you a really simple question. Right now, what you're seeing, the room you're in, is it real? I mean, is your perception of the world the actual objective truth?
Our gut reaction, our default setting is to say, of course it is. We pretty much all operate on the belief that our senses are like these perfect, clear windows to the world. What you see is what you get. Simple as that.
But here's the twist. The source material for this whole explainer throws a huge wrench in that idea. It makes this really bold claim. Humans do not perceive reality directly. We're just not seeing the world as it truly is. So first things first, let's really dig into what we're calling the perception myth and see if we can challenge that basic assumption that our senses are telling us the whole truth. So why? Why wouldn't our brains just show us what's actually there? Well, it all comes down to a massive problem your brain has to solve every single second of your life. There's just way too much information out there. It's a constant, overwhelming flood of raw data. And this quote just nails it. I mean, can you imagine? If your brain tried to process every single light wave, every sound frequency, every molecule in the air all at the same time, your ability to just think, to function, it would completely collapse into chaos. So, if raw reality is this overwhelming storm of information, how did we ever survive it? Well, evolution didn't bother trying to build a bigger, faster processor. Instead, it came up with a really clever shortcut. It decided to prioritize survival over accuracy. And this is absolutely the key thing to remember. Evolution doesn't care about truth. It's not in that business. It's in the business of keeping you alive. So it only shows you what's useful for you to perceive, not what's technically accurate.
This chart is a perfect way to see that trade-off. Think about a car speeding towards you. The accurate perception would mean your brain is calculating its mass, its velocity, the exact spectrum of its color. I mean, it's a ridiculous amount of data. You'd be roadkill by the time you finish the math. The useful perception, it's just a simple, immediate signal. Danger, don't cross. That's it. It's a shortcut that saves your life. And this exact trade-off is happening all the time, shaping everything we perceive.
Okay, so this is where things get really, really interesting. This whole idea leads us to a powerful new way to think about what our brain is doing. Let's reframe our reality as the brain's user interface. For the longest time, we've always thought of illusions as errors, right? As these moments when our brain just gets it wrong. But this new idea completely flips that on its head. It argues that illusions aren't failures. They're actually protective features of how we operate.
And there's actually a formal name for this system, the protective interface. It's not reality itself. It's a simplified, heavily edited version of reality that your brain creates for you specifically to help you get around the world without being totally overwhelmed.
The best analogy, by far, is your computer's desktop. Think about it. The raw reality of how your computer works is this insane swirl of electricity and ones and zeros. That's raw reality. Your brain is the processor, doing all that hard work in the background. And what you actually experience, your perception, is the simplified desktop. You see helpful little icons, not the complex code behind them. You drag a file to the trash can. You aren't actually manipulating bits of data on a hard drive. It's a useful illusion. And when you realize this, you can start to see your own biases and assumptions as just shortcut icons, and begin to ask if they're still useful.
So, what does this all mean? What's it actually like to live inside these protective illusions? Well, it means we're living inside a masterpiece.
This is it. This is the big takeaway. Your perception isn't some bug in the system. It's the most important feature you have. So the world you experience every single day, all the colors, the sounds, the feelings, it isn't a lie. It's more like an elegant, functional work of art. It's a masterpiece of simplification, crafted over millions of years of evolution for one simple reason: to help you thrive.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty deep thought. If your entire conscious experience is a user interface that's been designed just to keep you functional, what illusions are protecting you right now?